Hi guys, I want to tell you about a window of opportunity. I'm Victoria Myers, and that's the title of my May 2019 article in Progressive Farmer magazine. It's about some interesting shifts in the cattle industry and what producers can expect in terms of prices for the remainder of the year. There's a little patch of middle ground in the beef business today. It has bankers taking notice. Cattlemen just call it a grow yard. Lenders are calling it an economic entry point. Thomas Allen, he calls it a path back home to Texas. With 5 years' experience working in the feed yard industry, Allen started K-Bill Cattle Company in April 2018. It's based in Texas's Dalhart area. The custom grow yard sells most of the feeders it raises to Five Rivers or Cactus feed yards. K-Bill doesn't own cattle. Most of the animals they grow out come from a partnership of farmers and ranchers in the area. Calves come from sale barns all over the country, as far north as South Dakota, west to New Mexico, and east to South Carolina and Florida. Allen says they buy based on where cattle are pricing right for them at the time. Usually they look for calves as light as 450, normally nothing over 600 pounds, and they'll put 250 to 300 pounds on them at 2.5 pounds a day. Once they hit that threshold, Allen makes a call to the feed yards in his area. Don Close believes grow yards like K-Bill are going to be a key segment in the U.S. cattle industry in the years to come. The senior analyst for Rabobank says while these operations aren't entirely new, they're evolving, and they will be a way for feed yards to build more reliable cattle supply chains. Now, while no one knows yet how this sector will fare moving forward, there's another shift in the beef industry that's already returning interest. It's beef quality, and it has hit its stride. Certified Angus Beef's Mark McCulley notes that for years the U.S. cattle industry reported prime and premium choice levels around 55%. Not a bad product, but it wasn't getting much better. In late 2008 and 2009, that started to change. The intentional focus on improved marbling genetics, along with a period of rebuilding the cow herd with the consumer in mind, made the difference. For comparison, in 2010, 13 million pounds of prime beef carcasses were processed in an average week in the U.S. In 2018, that number was at 33.5 million pounds. And I'll do the math for you. That's a 158% increase. Much of this top quality beef is traditionally sold to high-end restaurants and export markets. And now is a critical time to build on that success, says CoBank's Will Sawyer. He stresses U.S. beef's quality foundation has to be solid moving forward because per capita protein consumption domestically is reaching all-time highs. This year, that number is projected to hit 222.4 pounds or 58.3 pounds of beef per person. Florida beef specialist Chris Previtt notes domestic consumption will inevitably plateau, and that leaves cattlemen facing serious market challenges without a strong export outlook. That doesn't mean there won't be any pricing opportunities. It does mean this is a good time to consider the use of tools like options and futures to help manage risk. In fact, Daryl Peel says those are good strategies no matter where you sit in the beef industry. The Oklahoma State University economist says expansion of the U.S. beef herd is mostly over, but there's no sign of liquidation ahead for this year, and that means a mostly level price environment. As the industry moves closer to levels consistent with zero growth, Florida's Prevet expects Southeast feeder calf prices to be lower than they were in 2018. On an annual average basis, about $13 per hundredweight lower. But he sees opportunity here, noting the industry is in a downward price cycle and the bottom is still ahead of us. Now is the time. It is possible to position yourself to be able to take advantage of the lower prices. In other words, Prevet wants you to prepare now to benefit from the upward transition that happens after the beef market bottoms out. Forecasts indicate this upward transition starts around 2021 or 2022 and continues for 5 to 7 years. So to be in a position to capture those potential future profits, cattle producers have to look at expanding when everyone else around them is contracting. This is when you expand, says Prevet. This is where the potential is. If you'd like to hear more about what Chris Prevet has to say and Daryl Peel, there are a lot of details in the story I couldn't get to today. So go to dtnpf.com and look for the May 2019 digital edition. Thanks for listening. Bye, y'all.